Welcome to Chad the Home Care Guy. Real conversations about aging, home care, and the decisions families face every day. Hosted by Chad Fisher, founder of Avail Home Care. Because caring for the people you love shouldn't be confusing. Let's get started.
All right, guys, it's Chad the Home Care Guy with Avail Home Care, and I'm back today with a special guest, and that special guest today just happens to be my mom. So, Beverly Fisher, welcome.
Thank you, Chad. I've been waiting for this moment.
I wanted to do something a little different today. Normally, I'm doing all of the different professionals that are out there, but I've never done anything like this yet so far, and I think it was a good one to start up maybe some new engagement in senior living. And my mom just turned
82.
82 years old, and I thought we should probably podcast you because of how not only fit you are, but how active you still are at 82 years old.
Yeah, thank you.
So here we go.
Here we go.
Let's start off with at 82, which is amazing. You're more active than a lot of people half your age. So what do you think has made the biggest differences in how well you've aged?
Well, I think there are a few. And exercise, I think that has really helped, especially tennis. I think it really helps with my balance and everything. And I enjoy the social part of that. So the social parts of life are important. Having family like you and grandkids. And I think that just having a spiritual life as well. All of these things have kept me going to 82 and I hope well beyond.
Yes, well beyond. Well, when you look back over your life, were there habits that you started young that you think that are paying off now?
Again, I have to say exercise and nutrition, both of them. You remember I put carob chips in your Easter basket.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, I didn't have chocolate chips, any of that for probably a good part of the beginning of growing up.
Yes.
So I honestly thought that chocolate was carob, and somehow she got away with that.
Yes.
Until I think we started trading lunch boxes at school, and then maybe I got a feeling for what chocolate really was. And so
nobody would trade with you.
Nobody would trade with me. So, yeah. But I think that does, play a big part.
It does. Exercise and nutrition.
Talk a little bit about maybe what your exercise and nutrition looks like today.
Okay. I make sure that I get in a walk. I used to be a runner. Can't do that anymore. But walking about 3 miles or so every day helps. I play tennis once a week, at least. I go to the gym twice a week and work out. And then I think just movement all day long, doing things, volunteer work, other things that I do that keeps me moving. I leave the house in the morning and I get home late afternoon and
you're out all the time.
I'm out all the time.
And that's something that's gone on my whole life.
Yes.
So it's all I've known from, growing up, that no matter what, you've been move, go all the time. So, and I grew up, I remember playing, tennis with you, volleyball with you, probably a ton of different sports. You were my soccer coach when I was little.
And ping pong.
And no matter what, we were a sports family. We kept moving all the time.
Right.
And I think it's great.
Yeah,
and now my kids are doing the same thing.
That's right.
So what does a typical day look like for you now, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed?
Well, I usually get up and try to eat a good breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day. And I do my devotionals, and then I go out and make sure that I'm walking. And recently I've been walking a lot of different places, and I'm looking for birds, as you know, and I've been getting into that. And so I think I'm naturally curious, very curious. And now I'm curious about learning more about birds, and it gets me out there in nature. I love, and I'm learning at the same time. And then I just go on with my day, depending on what day it is. I have Rotary. I do volunteer work at church, and I make sure that I work out a couple times a week. And boy, the beat goes on. I turn around and the day's over, and I enjoy my evenings at home.
Sometimes have my kids as well. They keep you active.
Every Thursday for weekends, I go to the games.
Yep, that's great. Speaking of being outdoors, we are actually at her place right now, which is this beautiful setting behind us. So if you're wondering where we are, we're in Dunedin. What role has movement, exercise, or staying active played in your life? We kind of touched base on that a little bit already.
I think the other thing that I can say about that is that being my age, I like to be a role model for others. I think that being in the gym, for example, people do come up to me and talk with me,
Yeah.
and we share what we're doing in the gym and why. And I've talked to a lot of people about this aging process, which is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to even talk about. But I think if people can stay in motion, just keep moving, no matter what they like, what they're passionate about, just be very cognizant of it. Even when I go to the top shelf and get a dish, I mean, I'm stretching. Yeah, every opportunity I get to move and to stretch, I take.
Yeah. And I think that's important. And I think no matter what it is that we're doing, even if it's with you during weekends or whatever, I think we're constantly doing stuff that's on the move,
Yes,
which is always really good.
definitely.
We rarely come over and sit down here. I
No.
mean, we come here, we fish.
Yes.
We're always doing something
always
that's
doing something.
constantly moving. Even TV, like your TV's not on during
No,
the day. I
during the day.
notice that all the time.
Right.
I come over and maybe it's on during the evenings or when you're doing a little bit of work on the computer. But other than that, you're usually gone
Yes.
on the move.
Right, right.
A lot of people slow down mentally or emotionally as they get older. So, what keeps you curious, motivated, and engaged with life, other than me?
Yeah. Well, I am a lifelong learner. I was a teacher. I've been in education and consulting and training, which I think is being in education as well. And I think because I have a deep curiosity for everything, I mean, there's just nothing that I am not curious about. So when I hear young people, for example, or when I heard you say, I'm bored when you were younger, there's no reason to be bored. There's always things to do,
Yeah.
always things to learn. And I think that drives me then to get up and do something about that curiosity and solve that problem and learn something.
Yeah. Then what do you think people get wrong about aging?
Yes, well, I have been with a lot of people, and they talk continuously about not health, but sickness.
Yeah.
And I think if they could not talk about it and give energy to it, I think talking about health and how healthy we could be, that's a good thing. And sharing ideas and how it works for us, it's important. But I just talked to someone recently. It's that every time that they get together with their friends, they're talking about what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
And I think we should talk about what's right with us.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Thank
Something in the psyche
Yeah.
that could change, that's for sure. Has there been any losses or health scares or setbacks that have changed the way you take care of yourself? And I know of one of those probably.
The cancer.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think that more than anything changed me for a while, but not for long. And I'm I'm over that now, thank goodness.
Yeah. Which was what, since you're on camera?
Yes, it was cancer inside my nose. That was something I had to get taken care of. And I think with looking at my health as well, I always keep up with everything that could go wrong or my physicals, or I think maybe I'm suspicious about something. I will go in. I'm not one to wait 6 months or a year till something really develops. I will go in, get it taken care of,
Yeah.
and move
Advocating for
forward.
yourself.
And advocating
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I think it's important that the viewers even hear a statistic that was the latest one that I heard from you about your bone density.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes, I had a recent bone density test, and the lady looked at it and looked at me and looked at the paper again, and she said, if you fall, there's less than a 4% chance that you will break a hip or break a
yeah,
bone.
less than 4%.
Yes, and I'm on no medication.
Right.
So again, I think it's the working out, it's the movement, it's the walking every day. It's all of that and staying positive.
Yeah.
Just really staying positive. I think that's very, very helpful.
What advice would you give someone in their 40s, 50s, or even 60s who wants to age the way that you have?
Well, that's a tough question.
Staying positive is probably one of the top reasons.
It is. You know, I'm thinking of another thing too, the importance of rituals. And I think that can be something as you grow older, hanging on or developing new rituals that will keep you, of course, safe and will keep you happy and will keep you healthy. I think I'll leave it at that. I think you can create those on your.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. When you think about the years ahead, what are you still excited to do, learn, experience, or even become?
Oh, that's another kind of tough one. I view every day as a gift. I'm so appreciative and grateful for living this long. Having kids and grandkids is wonderful and a wonderful partner, friends, and a place to live. I'm a Pisces, so I love the water. I am, again, a lifelong learner, terminally curious. So I think that moving forward, I'm going to do more of just the same. I think, too, another thing that when you get older, you think, how long did your parents live? And I have thought about that. And at 82, I am older than both my parents lived.
You're going to give me a run for my money.
Yes. You have good DNA and some good habits.
Well, let's get into that same piece of advice for your kids and anyone listening about how to live a strong, happy life. What would it be? What would you say to American fans?
Oh my gosh. I think be kind to others.
Yeah.
You get so much back from volunteering and helping and, not getting too involved with having to get the best grades and the best job and everything, although that I know that's important, but just be you and develop the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And with that comes the development of a lot of healthy habits.
And I think that's what you've instilled in me growing up. And I think that has always stuck with me, of course. I always want to do the right thing. And when you do the right thing, great things happen to you.
Yeah.
And I think it's just part of putting it out in the universe all the time.
Right. And it will come back to you.
It will always come back.
Yeah.
And I remember you used to say that all the time as a kid.
Right.
I completely remember multiple conversations of, make sure you're always doing the right thing and then it will come back tenfold, So I've hopefully been doing that this whole time. And then I feel like I always live that way. So yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Any other last words about living at your age and how great that you're doing?
Oh my gosh. I hear people say, well, at this age, I'm too old to do this or too old to do that. I don't think we are. I think we're only limited by what we think we can or can't do. So stay open, be around young people, be engaged in your community, volunteering, put whoever you are, whatever your health is in perspective. There's always people that are not doing as well as you.
Traveling keeps you young, I think.
Oh, it keeps you so young.
Talk a little bit about where you've been.
Well, I have worked in 29 countries and I've been in 70. And
70 countries, guys. 70.
And I learn something and grow a little every time I travel.
Yeah. Well, we just went to her 82nd birthday. We actually just flew out and spent a week in Portugal and Morocco. And if you guys have never been to Portugal, let me just tell you, on a travel advisory, it will let you know that it's extreme walking hills. So that being said, we were go all day long, walked
7 miles.
8 miles a day, uphill mostly. And we're talking straight uphill. So never missed a beat. She was side by side with us, like she was 30 years old again. So it really does show, and it's amazing, that you're at this time in your life and that you still are active and can do all the things and keep up with me.
Well, you make choices.
That's
right. Do I want to sit in the front porch or do I want to fulfill those myths and stereotypes of getting old and older people? They talk about that, but no, I want to defy those myths and those stereotypes and say, I want to live as long as I can and have as quality a life as I can. Well, what is it going to take? If you back up, what is it going to take? And what have I been doing and what will I continue to do? Those habits run deep and I will continue to, again, be the best version of myself for you, the grandkids, and others.
Awesome. Well, guys, you heard it right here. This is how you stay looking good and fit at 82 years old. So thanks for coming on, Mom.
Thank you, Chad.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
I love you.
Love you.
All right, guys. Until next time, make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe. It's free to subscribe. So just hit that button. The more people I can get to follow and subscribe, the more people will then see all this information. And it's definitely a great thing. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Chad the Home Care Guy podcast. Take care.